pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We start off our meeting by introducing our board members, starting to my far left, but I would like to include our city staff. So start with you there, Bob.
Okay, my name is Bob Buscemi. I'm the city architect.
Angela Rambo, principal planner.
Laura Weissong, I live in Crooked Creek.
Reed Casey, Bethany Road.
I'm Tim Bryan. I have a business here in Crabapple.
Marty Littleton, I live on Freemanville Road. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
May I get a motion to approve the July meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the July meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is demos. First one coming up will be Red Road demo, 1940 Red Road. Come on down. You guys happen to be door number one.
Okay, where we go?
How are you folks?
Just
Doing
state your
fine.
name and address for the record.
It's Frank and Dana Hallberg. We live over on 1007 Hollandade Way in Milton.
And we're owners of the 1940 Red Road property.
You know, I don't know that I've ever actually seen this house.
Yeah, you've seen it from the road. You could see it from the road.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a structure behind that? Is that also included? Is that what I'm seeing there?
There's a existing barn,
Oh,
and we got approval for putting a steel building up next to the barn.
We're not demoing the barn, just the existing
But
residence.
it's just the middle strip, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
In the front.
Yeah, it's the orchid farm next to us,
Yeah.
to the left of us looking at the photo.
Bob, do you have any questions as to the structure?
I do not.
Angela? Anybody on the board?
No.
Do you have any public comment? The standard speech on all demos is that locate your septic tank, fill it in with gravel. When you
The existing septic tank was already inspected, and we were going to reuse it. It's been.
Okay, if you're going to reuse it, just mark it.
It's been marked.
And it's been terminated
and
as
it's
well.
been capped.
Okay. The reason is that we don't want anybody falling in it. So that's why we always make that statement. So
Okay.
whenever you get, and you tear the property down, you need to make sure that you've cleaned up. You can't have any debris left anywhere.
Okay.
You will have to grade it, sow grass if it's going to take you time to start construction. How long do you think it'll be before you start construction on the new residence?
We're going to submit the application probably tomorrow. We're just waiting on one piece of information
Okay,
for
very
the new
well.
house, so immediately.
So of course, you got to abide by all the rules the city has for erosion control and those things.
Already in place, erosion control.
Yeah, we needed that anyway for the building in the back, so.
Okay.
So just remind the applicant that you still have to get a permit for the demo.
Yeah, no, we've already applied for that, so they're
Just want to make sure you,
waiting on you
some
guys.
people leave thinking that's it.
Oh.
So before you leave, could you fill one of these up for me?
Sure.
On the table over there.
Just the top part. Just
Okay.
Make a motion.
you need a vote.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the demo on Red Road, 1940 Red Road. Demolition existing.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go in peace.
Terrific,
All right,
thank you.
Have a good day. Next, Charlotte Drive demo, 12450 Charlotte Drive.
I think we should keep this.
Anybody here to represent this demolition? Would you?
Push to the end.
Could we guys see if they show up?
We'll push it to the end of the meeting and see if they show up.
Let's make a motion to
I'll make a motion to move item 5B, Charlotte Drive demo, to the end of the agenda.
I'll second that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, Cogburn Road demo, 14505 Cogburn.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Scott Reese with Brummerlow Reese and Associates, doing business at 13685 Highway 9, Milton, Georgia, 30004. I'm here tonight representing Brenda Ely in her desire to remove some outbuildings that, with the proposed division plat, come under non-compliance as far as the building setbacks. So, to go forward with the division, these outbuildings will have to be removed. So they will not be removed until they go forward with the selling of the property and the division. They're at the age, the existing house is no longer, I guess it's obsolescent, size of bathroom doors and that sort of thing. So they're going to construct a new house on the rear lot, at which point when they sell the other two. So when they do that, they will have to remove those buildings to become compliant. So that's where we're at. There are no septic systems that affect these outbuildings. They're not visible from the road. There's no social, historical, or major significance on these outbuildings.
Okay. Any questions, Bob? Angela? Anybody from the audience? How about board?
No.
Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the demolition for 14505 Cogburn Road.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
Okay, got the next one.
You're here again.
Yes.
We didn't give you the standard speech. But I know you already know the standard speech.
Right. Well, you can do it on this one. So,
Okay.
okay. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Scott Reese with Brummerlow Reese and Associates, doing business at 13685 Highway 9, Milton, Georgia, 30004. I'm here tonight representing Charles Mentzer in his application to demolition the house at 13700 Freemanville Road, Milton, Georgia. Mr. Mentzer has purchased this property. There's a 1960s era brick ranch that does not meet his desires or needs for future domicile. So he wishes to remove this house and construct one that will be more in line with his desires and needs. So we have located the specimen trees. We know where the approximate location of the septic tank is. So it will be dug up and closed correctly by a registered sanitarian with the state in compliance with the state and county and city rules. Silt fence will be installed before the demolition occurs, and the removal of the structure will coincide with a grading and sodding and seeding of the disturbed area.
Thank you. Any questions, Bob? Angela? Any questions from the public? How about the board? I'll make a motion to approve.
You're not going to give your speech first?
Nah, you already know the speech. So you already know what to do. You already said it. So I'm going to approve D, Freemanville Road Demo, 13700. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good to go.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Scott. Final reviews, Glenville at Arnold Mill. Architectural elevation review for lots 7, 8, and 9.
Hey guys, I'm Nick Williams with Cout Residential, and we're just getting 7, 8, and 9 architectural review the elevations. It's if you have your packet there, it's the orange building on the site, faces Arnold Mill Road, and then as usual, what I do is highlight all the changes that are specific to this building. Bob and I met earlier this month and reviewed it, and he made his recommendations, and they're reflected here.
What's the yellow, Bob?
The yellow on the drawing is highlighting the changed areas.
That's what's been changed.
Yeah, those are kind of the unique features to that building.
So like the two dots on the roof means that they were dormers and we took them off.
Right.
Just to keep them in the same character, but change them around a little bit on the exterior facades. There's some of the porch changed and things like that, but they're basically keeping the same massing, which is what it was. And these are along the roadway, so they get a brick wall in front.
Right, they also all get the
Yeah,
courtyard.
so they get that wall and all, which is not shown here. And how are things going out there, Nick?
Slow but steady.
Slow but steady, okay.
So,
So Bob, these have met to your satisfaction?
Yes, sir.
Angela, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Does anyone on the board have any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions from the public?
Look good.
Laura?
He has them, but he didn't, I'll show him.
You okay?
I will make a motion to approve Glenview Arnold Mill Road Units 7, 8, and 9.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Actually look really
He
good.
filled out a yellow card? Okay.
I did.
Next, we're doing courtesy reviews. We're going to start off with 790 Landrum Road to allow a guest house to be located in the front yard. Anybody here from,
Mr. Chair, the owner contacted me today and has asked that we defer this. Again, they're going to concentrate on some renovations to the house first,
okay,
but I told her it would.
make a motion to defer it to the next meeting or indefinitely?
To the next meeting.
Okay. I make a motion to defer.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is 175, is that Gladwine Ridge Road?
Gladwin.
Gladwine? Okay. How are you, sir?
How are you?
Good.
Good. I am looking to talk to Angela about this. The lot that I have has been in my family for about 30 years. 1988, my uncle bought it. My aunt was actually in a really serious car accident. She's paraplegic. So he wasn't able to build until 1992. When he went back to get his building permit, I guess the setbacks had changed. So he's had the lot for some time. I guess you have the letter in front of you. Instead of me reading this, I'm sure you've gone over this. So what happened is he tried to get a variance, try to get a setback changed, but to no avail. And I don't know if he just didn't go through the right processes or what happened, but he was going to let the lot go back to the county. He was tired of paying the taxes and whatnot. Had quite a bit of money invested. So when I heard this, I asked him if I could take the lot, and he agreed. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just trying to get a 25-foot, or I would say from 75 to a 50-foot variance so that the house will fit. And if we can do that, it will fit. I do have plans. I have an architect who can adjust whatever necessary. So that's where it stands.
So, Mr. Chair, just to fill in some additional information, when they platted his particular subdivision, the creek that's shown here in blue wasn't shown. And then when they did, it wasn't shown at all. And then when they did the adjoining subdivision that surrounds them, that subdivision showed the creek going into his property. So then it was documented that there was a creek there. So when they originally platted this lot, he thought it was a buildable lot. He bought it as a buildable lot. And then subsequently they said, okay, so we looked at this very carefully to work with them to see if there was any other place to put it on the property. And we tried 3 different layouts, and this was the most suitable one, because otherwise we'd try to put the building right against the property line, which isn't going to be very good for the neighbor either. So we maintained a 25-foot setback and said, we'll just impose into the 75-foot impervious setback. And hopefully when we can do this, we don't disturb the 50 at all. I think we should be able to clean up those little corners and just keep it within the 75. But if there's any other recommendations from the board?
Just, make it that last part.
Could you repeat the last thing you said, please?
And up to 50.
Oh, clean, well, right now his drawing shows it just clipping the 50. It's just the way he drew it.
You're talking about the house.
Yeah, and we certainly wouldn't want it to go into the 50 at all.
Excuse me. Again, I did talk to my architect. He said if there's any adjustments that need to be made,
Yeah.
we can squeeze out of that. I know that's on the line.
Yeah, we would, I think what you're looking for is just to encroach into the 75, if I'm correct.
For the house and the septic tank, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 2-part variance.
Right.
So at the time the lot was purchased, the lot was in fact buildable.
There was no stream shown on the plat.
Okay.
And when you go to plat something or you get a building permit or what, you have to show all the streams within 200 feet of your lot. So, lo and behold, there's a stream, and we sent staff out to confirm that it's a blue line stream.
Okay.
The septic might be the hard one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to do that?
That's going to be the hard one.
That looks more complicated. Yeah, exactly.
Because you
It's in the front.
You have to do the primary and the secondary. You have to have 2.
How big is this house? I can't tell. It's too small.
It is, I don't have those.
2,800, is that what that says?
I believe so.
Here, they go in here.
I think the original plan was 2,800.
Is it a basement?
That's the only thing is
There will be a basement.
So that's not gonna really work here.
I see 36.
It'll be a 2-story.
Septic
Oh, they've got the lines back here.
Yeah, I can also use lines with that.
might work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge.
So really the septic tank, what he's wanting to propose to do is put septic tank in the front yard.
In the back left.
Is that a primary and a secondary?
I think he's put it in the back, top left. Right here.
I mean, septic tanks are sized by bedroom count. So I don't know how many bedrooms he's showing, what the architect is showing, but his variance request is just to encroach into the 75-foot, not the 50, so they would have to figure out a way to do that.
4-bedroom, it says on here.
Yeah. I'm just, if they have to, they'd have to cut it down because it'd go by bedroom count. The variance would just say, okay, you're allowed to encroach into the 75-foot line. And then it's up to them to work out the building code details.
I would think once the house is a position which it seems to work, then making sure the soils are right for the septic would be the other thing. And then to make sure there's room for it before I went too far down the road with all of this. Would be the septic field. For both, there's the primary and the secondary.
Have you already done soil tests for this?
I had him come out, but he said until we figured out where everything was laying, we kind of need to
Yeah.
go that route first. But he said everything looked good as,
I think now that the house is set, it seems to work pretty well in that corner.
That's the only place you can put it.
And then just to see if the secondary, or if the primary and secondary septic field lines and all that are going to work with the property you're left with, would be the next part to make sure. But the house looks good to me in that location.
great.
It does.
And it could be pulled a little bit closer to the 25-foot build line. Yeah, I don't know if,
And
Making
your septic's in there. Your reserve septic's in there. It's just tight.
So I guess I would just make sure the septic is going to work, and then you'd know both pieces of the puzzle are going to be okay.
So can I just ask Angela, there is a sharp grade difference here, differential, so if they needed some retaining wall or something, they would then have to ask for another variance on that, or would that be? So they'd have to be able to do this without pushing a retaining wall somehow? You could use the house as a retaining wall, but if you stop putting other retaining walls, then you'd have to come back and ask for another
Okay.
encroachment.
I mean, if we can figure that out now, I don't know if you've looked at the grading, if we can figure out whether or not you need a separate retaining wall now, we can push it out a month and just add it to this variance request. Instead of you're having to pay another fee and all of that, it would just push it out a month.
Okay.
And then, you can clarify the septic and the retaining wall you're grading. You can't grade either, so you could literally have a hard stop.
I got you. Okay.
So Bob, basically what we're doing is the lesser of the evils.
What I'm showing you here, compared to the other two schemes that we have, we had 3 total, this is probably the lesser of all the evils.
Okay.
And,
Let's see if we've got any public input. Come on up,
Sir, could you fill out one of these for me, please? And when you finish, you also jump in. They're over there on the wall.
You can come up and fill
When you
it out
finish
later.
speaking.
When you finish speaking, you can. Oh, okay, he's gone.
Oh, great.
Thank you very much. Just state your name and address for the record.
Thank you.
I apologize to the council. I'm hard of hearing. I have my hearing aids turned up as high as I can hear, but I still struggle with some of the words. My name is Douglas Shepard. I reside at 155 Gladwin Ridge Drive, which is adjacent to the property in question. I strongly object to this house being moved within 50 feet rather than 75 feet. There's no houses in the neighborhood that come close to that. So I'm obviously opposed to that. My house is next to it. I sit approximately over 200 feet from the road. So I want to object my opposition. And I ask a question of, did I hear him say something about a 2,800 square foot home?
Yes.
The covenants in the subdivision, since its origination, sets the minimum level of a home in our neighborhood at 3,500 square feet. And several years ago, it was raised to 4,000.
It's 36.
So a 2,800 square foot home would be totally unacceptable in our
That may be
neighborhood.
the basement area.
What's it called? The footprint.
It says 36 and one says 28.
I see 30.
Looks like 3678
Yeah.
total square footage.
I see.
I think I was reading the wrong one earlier.
Say again,
I
sir?
think I was reading the wrong one earlier.
What he's got on his plat is 3,678.
Yeah.
That wouldn't meet the current covenants in the neighborhood, which is 4,000 square feet.
Okay. The covenants is that's not something for us to focus on, but
Well, but there's an HOA?
It is an HOA. I'm a member of the architectural committee on there. And so we'll have to review any plans that he has for a house there.
Yeah.
And it will not be approved under the current covenants if it's less than 4,000 square feet, not including a basement.
It's going to be a problem.
so let me.
And that's going to cause an issue with the build.
I'm just going to inject a thought. I realize the lot is a gift to this gentleman. If the lot was buildable at the time the lot was purchased, how do you reconcile, and I'm asking this of everybody, how do you reconcile then telling people that they cannot build on the lot?
Well,
Is
that's
they
what the
just-
variance process is for.
Right. So tell me what the mechanisms are and where do we stand to because either it meets it or it doesn't meet it. If we give them a variance for it, the public objects to the variance. How do we justify what we might, like, for example, this is no offense to you. Personally, septic tank being in the front, that's the big one for me. And I think that's a lawn anyway. But if that lot was never perceived, I would guess that it would have ever been back 100 feet off the right-of-way or off of the courtyard, the court you have there now, when it was built to begin with.
I have no idea what the setback rules are from the city or from the county. I only know what the covenant says, and I don't think it spells out the setbacks per se. It does set out the size
square
of the home.
footage.
It sets out the square footage.
Certainly, square footage is something you can hold his feet to the fire because he's going to have to comply with whatever the deed restriction is for the HOA. As far as I'm concerned with the front, I don't have any problems with the septic tank going in the front, Bob, if you don't.
I don't, and I just want to make sure that this gentleman here understands that the house is within all the setbacks that are outlined by the city as far as the lot line setbacks. What he's looking for relief on is a buffer for a creek. There's a,
So the setback he's asking for isn't from the street, it's from the creek?
It's from the creek. The creek has a 25-foot state buffer. That's state law, so nobody touches that. Then the city imposed a 50 and a 75. And he's looking to build it within the 75. If you come up, I'll show you the map so you can see it. The 25 here is the required, and the 60 up in the front is the required. When he's looking.
This was 75 up here.
No, it's 60.
Okay.
So it's 60 and 25.
Okay.
And then they're now showing this creek, and then there's a 25, a 50, and then a 75. So he's looking to build within that 75. So the setbacks are good.
He's good here, it's
Yes.
from the creek.
It's from the creek, and the creek
I
wasn't.
wouldn't call that a creek, it's really a stream or a spring that comes
it's
out
sort
of
of
the
a
ground
spring.
about a quarter of a mile up the road where he's planning on building. It comes
Right.
out of the ground and then runs across my property.
Right, and because it was shown here, they said, well, okay, then buffers would apply, otherwise he would be at his right to fit it right in here. And he'd be okay.
So
he's looking for
but he
relief
can't
here.
destroy the stream at all.
That's correct. He's not going within the 25 or the 50. He's asking for the 75.
To be reduced to 50.
Yeah, that instead of the 7, we'll eliminate it, he'll build in that zone.
And where will he put his septic system?
The septic, what the chairman described, would be in the front yard, which you're allowed to do,
Yeah.
or the side yard, which you're allowed to do.
Is the septic allowed to encroach on the 60 and the 20?
It is,
Okay.
but what happens is this is where he'd put it, and then this would be a reserve.
Okay. And his
So-
driveway?
His driveway is right here. It doesn't,
run over it.
right,
Okay.
that's correct.
No, my concern, I thought he was asking for a variance in front.
Right, that's why I heard you, that's why I wanted you to see it, so that you know that he is meeting these setbacks. It's that impervious setback
Okay.
here that he's looking
But
for.
I would comment, you still need to look at the covenants for the subdivision because it's 4,000 minimum.
Okay, can I approach? By the way,
Thank you, Jim.
I'm going to be your neighbor, so I want to get along with this man. His house is a prime example. If you were to look at his house, and he has a beautiful home, has 3 or 4 acres there, but you drive over the driveway over that creek, and then his house is right there. It's only about no more than 35 feet. Would you say, Mr. Shepherd, how far away is? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I got to get closer because I cannot understand. I can hear you, but I can't understand the words.
How far do you think your house is from that creek?
From the spring,
Yeah, like where your driveway is.
I don't know, 75, 80 feet?
Yeah, I used to live in your house, by the way.
Because it
Back
goes
in-
underneath the driveway in front of the house.
Yeah, so,
In a culvert.
yeah, thank you. So the point is, his house was built before the creek was even a setback was an issue. His house is very close to the creek as well. As far as the house goes, now, what I've seen, I didn't know anything about the 4,000 square feet. I just looked at the plat here, and it says with the county, which was filed. And again, I don't know how this works, and maybe you guys can explain to me. This lot was gifted to me last year, so, I'm not the original owner, my uncle is. But you see the circumstances of what it was in, and he was like, if you can make it work, and I've got close to 20,000 into it myself already. So, if it is 4,000 square feet, I don't object to a bigger house. I can build it. I'll just have to figure out how to do it, how roof lines work. There is a little bit of room at the back of the house where we could come out, if that's possible, to make it larger. But I do have some sentiment with this subdivision. My father-in-law built 3 homes there, and I lived in his house for about 2 years. So it sort of is home.
I don't object to it personally, as long as you meet the covenants of the subdivision. And, the whole idea behind all of this is to try to be good neighbors and keep the community up.
Sure.
So I certainly understand. Unfortunately, it's not our responsibility that it did meet the requirements way back when, and now it does not meet those requirements. I'm more concerned with what Bob and Angela would propose. If they think this is acceptable from a city standpoint, then I would be okay with it.
Yeah, well, I would recommend that the applicant come back in.
Okay.
Meet with staff, meet with us, just so that now that we know the 4,000 and what we have, we can reposition and get it all to work for you.
Okay. I'll have my surveyor, I'll have my girl look at it and readdress that and maybe make it a little bit larger where it will fit. But that's the first I heard about the 4,000, so.
Okay.
I can talk to Pete Oswald.
Well, since he's the architectural control person, you both are here?
I'm one of 3 members.
Okay.
Okay.
But you can help talk to them, so
Okay.
y'all
So
get on the
just-
same page.
Just so the gentleman knows, this is a DRB meeting. It's a courtesy review to look at how the building is placed on the site and if we have any suggestions. The actual BZA meeting is set for, you know the date?
2 Tuesdays, 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today is the actual hearing.
That's when you decide whether to
That's
allow.
when that board would decide what to
And the only
do.
thing you're deciding on is the septic and the setback from the creek.
This, just the setback from the creek, the septic he'd have to work out with the county.
Okay.
That
But-
house is going to be no problem to make it 4,000 if that's what's necessary.
Yeah, it might be a good idea. This board always recommends, so I'll maybe the 2 of you should get together before the meeting.
Okay.
Kind of work it out, make sure he understands how it's going to look, the other requirements from the ARB, kind of make sure you're complying with everything, and he's going to be your neighbor, so that this way you could sit down, and when we have that hearing, it'd be almost nice for him to come in and say, yes, I did meet with you, and we worked out all the issues, and we're supporting it rather than not supporting it.
Okay. I'll get his phone number now and we'll handle
Yeah,
that.
it'd be nice.
That way it's no event on the 18th.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Uh-huh. Okay, next is Legacy Crossing, 13695, Highway 9. Come on down.
My name's Gary Gilbert. I'm the owner of the shopping center. It about 20 years ago, before there was just incorporated Fulton County. I met with Bob and Angela about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I like to update the shopping center. I have gotten 3 new tenants, so it is 100% occupied now. And what I would like to do is paint it, but as Bob explained to me, the covenants, the overlay district doesn't allow for any crack block or cinder block buildings in Milton. And so since that's the case, and I had not painted it at the time, I would have to get approval to paint that shopping center. I would like to paint it something similar to the Walmart and the Home Depot that is right down the road in Alpharetta. I like to paint it a very off-white with black coping around the metal structure and the top. And that's why I'm here today, to get your opinions and see where to go.
So just, this is the Montanas?
Yes,
Okay,
it's
got
not
it.
going to be Montana's. It's going to be Mazzy Sports Bar now.
Okay. Domino's, does everybody know what that
Correct.
is?
That is,
C3 church.
that is right.
Gary, what color did you say you were going to paint that?
Quite similar to what is out front, the most common white that shopping centers have been doing over the past couple years. It just seems to be, I guess, the in thing per se, with the coping on the top of the roof, either painted a black, dark brown. I don't oppose, which I said to Angela, she could pick the colors. I do have a watercolor. It's gray. It's a dark gray. Then you have a light gray, and then you have a red one block all the way around. I could keep the same type of, color, whatever they suggest, but, I didn't really want to go too much farther because I know that it is not something that is in the covenants for the overlay district.
Trying to get a street view here because I can't remember what it looks like.
Well, I'm doing the same thing as we're talking.
I live in that area, so
I know the building.
I know it well.
More modern looking, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if we were to ask the folks who live in that part of Highway 9, that is the building they don't like.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really fit with the overall Milton. So I don't know if there's anything you can do to, you got, pikes going in right up the street. So once again, we're trying to get consistency with the landscape.
So I met with the applicant, and he proposed paint, and I proposed that we put a new skin on the building and make it look more like Milton look and feel and character. And he said that he wasn't open to that at this juncture. So he proposed painting it, and of course, staff is against any painting of the concrete block. It predated the city, so it's there, but
it was Fulton County who
we weren't supporting it.
that.
But in all fairness, I said, look, come in front of the DRB and see what the public, the DRB board says, and if you
think
think
the
it
building,
looks
if it
good,
was-
but
If the building was painted correctly, some nice colors, it would help it.
I agree.
However, white is not on my agenda of
that
what I'm
doesn't
willing
sound
to
right.
accept. So what I would suggest is this. Work with city staff, meaning Bob primarily and Angela, to come up with some examples. You're asking us to say it's okay to paint the building, yet other than the fact that we know white, but I will tell you, there's at least 1,000,001 colors of white.
Oh, I understand that.
So-
I was going to, have a 3D drawing from the painter that I've already, contacted to show what it would look like.
So,
so can I just
Go ahead, Bob.
get some feeling back if it goes that direction? Right now, the building has a sort of a base, a different color base, and then a block on the body of the building, and then a stripe, like an inlet, I think it's a red stripe.
It is red stripe.
It's a red stripe that goes around. So if he was to come back with a proposal, would the board want to see those same features, or would you
No.
just want to see one
more one color, more earth tones.
But yeah, I think it's gotta mix with what is right up the street.
Okay, with the pipe and all.
Because-
And how about the exposed metal? I wanted them to clad exposed metal. Right, I did.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
was
Yeah,
being upfront. I asked them to clad
Are you talking
metal
about the roof structures that's
No,
exposed?
I thought if the metal was cladded,
It has those diagonal metal pieces. that,
Yeah.
like,
On all three corners
I
of the
thought if
building.
we just
It's
cladded them somehow,
It was an
we'd
accent.
get rid of the metal look, and it would kind of give it a different look.
When you say clad,
Well,
what do you
maybe
mean by that? What would that look like?
Put like a box around it, or
yeah.
some sort of cover, or some sort, it doesn't look like exposed steel. I'm throwing those are elements that are in
Yeah.
there besides the block, if we
I-
could do
I-
something.
The building just doesn't fit.
The building
Let's-
doesn't fit,
Let's be
yeah.
quite honest.
Yeah.
It's doesn't work.
We can't make him rebuild the building.
No, but, let's figure out a way to at least make it
Is there
a little
anything that
better.
you'd be open to along Highway 9, those facades on Highway 9 that?
As far as the design, more I mean, if it's
Just the
more than
cladding
paint.
of the exterior, nothing more?
As I explained, Bob,
I know.
there's a financial structure to any project that you do.
Okay.
And I am fortunate that I've owned it for that many years, but I do not intend to invest a significant amount of money that it would take to clad just back then, to take the galvanized metal and wrap it around was over $150,000, and that was 20 years ago. And I decided at that time I didn't want to do it. It was the original concept of it, but I would imagine it's 200 to 250 now.
Okay. So I guess I'm looking for feedback if the board thinks he should just leave it the way it is?
No.
Or if
I'd like
we-
to see him paint it.
If we
but-
paint it, what would you like?
Just bring us
And then,
in
I-
and
then
not-
I'll
yeah.
work with them.
How about some pictures of the
Would you
building?
want?
Yeah, pictures of
The
the
next
building.
time, pictures of the
Yes,
building.
that's what I
Let's have
intend
some
to.
colors,
Yes,
and let's try to work with it.
yeah, I would love to do
But
that.
I'm not going for white.
Okay.
Sorry.
And
No.
I think what you've got to be careful with on the painting, particularly on that sort of material, a color you look at can end up very different. So we've got to see samples on the actual unit, because I've seen that happen before, and it can look terrible.
You know, Bob, one of the things I'm thinking about is I just am now working on a building in Brookhaven, and the metal steel structures on the outside of the cinder blocks. And the architect did an incredibly good job. He made the building look like a modern building, which didn't necessarily go with Brookhaven. However, they made it a very eclectic look, but they did most of it with just paint. And so I'm thinking we can just try to brainstorm with Bob on some ideas to make it look a little more eclectic, a little more inviting, a little more, I don't want to use the word Milton-esque.
Yeah.
Because what I do want to say is that I don't want to drive by your place of business, and number one that comes to my mind is that is a bar. and so I've actually eaten in your restaurant/bar.
You didn't get sick?
No, it was actually pretty good. I ate lunch there one day, and it was pretty decent.
Yeah,
at that
Mazzy's is
particular
a
point
much
in time.
better restaurant.
So, in having said that, and I realize where you are, let's try to work clearly with Bob and Angela to come up with some colors that we
Love
can
to.
submit to us.
Love to.
We are not interested in trying to cause you more money or harm, but we would like to be part of an appeal process that appeals to our community. And it'll make shopping center a little bit more noticeable.
I would love to do that, and Laura, I would love to put the color on the building, because I'm under the same opinion. It can look great on a piece of paper, and then you put it on the building and the sun shines on it one way and you say, that's not it. So I'm open for all that.
But you know, Bob, that building I'm talking about downtown in Brookhaven, instead of trying to blur out the steel of the structure, they made it stand out. And it really ended up looking really pretty nice. It looked more like a more contemporary, modern building.
Can you get a picture of that?
I'll get a picture of it.
Marty, could you tell me the address, and I'd love to drive by?
I don't remember. It's,
Okay. Or
Is it downtown?
location?
yeah, you called a company. It's a Ferrari, and now it's a Ferrari repair shop.
Oh.
So it's been built for Ferraris. But what they,
No wonder you know where it is, Marty.
I don't have a Ferrari, but we certainly did the mechanicals for the building. But the architect did an incredibly good job with dressing that building up.
Okay.
And
We'll look at it.
I'll get some pictures, but I don't remember
Put
the
much
address
into
to
it
it.
because I wanted to see what the boy said. Do it courtesy. Let's put it in front of
Absolutely.
the board. Let's
Direction.
get
Yes.
some direction, and then we can work together.
Yes.
Knowing if the board said absolutely not, I didn't want to waste his time. Or
And I-
we if the board's entertaining it, we can sit together and really
Absolutely.
work on it.
Absolutely.
And Tim, what do you, as far as the type of finish, you thinking like an eggshell kind of thing, or
Glossy.
not a gloss, not a total flat, right? Something sort of like a semi or an eggshell kind of thing.
That's
See,
what
I've got to
the
look
paint-
at this building that you have, because I've never really paid that much attention to it. But I think having that modern look, which is kind of what it was built like
Yeah.
to begin with,
Okay.
if we can
There's a way.
scope out some of those ideas. Instead of trying to butter it up to be something, to
Right.
put lipstick on a pig, let's
Let's,
dress the pig up.
okay.
I'm all for it.
Not insulting your building.
I'm absolutely all
So
for it.
maybe it's a good idea, I'll meet you out there one day.
Yes.
We'll walk around and look at it, then we'll pick some colors and we can.
And Bob,
put
I'll be
some
glad to go
samples
with
up
you.
For
Yeah, absolutely.
Laura to come and look at,
Yeah,
and then you could always get it rendered at that
Yes.
point and bring it back. But
Absolutely.
We'll do that at the end, so you're not spending money, it's sort of like,
Right.
she's already looked, is that all right?
absolutely. I'll
Is
do
that
whatever,
right?
because I believe
Okay.
That's good.
in Milton, when you have the first building that you come down Highway 9, and that is basically the first commercial building, you can put something out there that, you know, kind of lends itself to kind of follow down the pathway of Highway 9, especially with the construction that it's going to be in the next couple of years with the road.
I think our police station's going to go straight, right?
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
that is correct.
And the one thing that's nice is the applicant has stated that the shopping center is 100% occupied.
100%,
That's a good thing, that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
very long-term leases.
It's a nice thing for economic development. They're in there, they're working, and we're happy to see that you have a successful shopping center.
Yeah, Bob, should I give you a call this
Yeah,
week?
yeah,
Let's
just
set up a
we'll
time.
set something up. We'll pick out a few colors, we'll meet out there, look at
Absolutely.
them.
Excuse me, just 1 minute, Bob, yes. Is the gentleman that represents Charlotte Drive here?
No.
Then we're going to defer that. Can we make a motion?
Well, I don't know if there's any public comment on
Can
that.
I'm just trying to get this cleaned up because he needs.
Sorry, I gotta go.
And we got to vote on this. So I make a motion to defer 450 Charlotte Drive to next month.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reed, go have a good time.
Thank you. Gary, thanks for making the improvements too,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Sorry, I gotta run now.
No problem.
Okay?
Do we have any
Yeah,
new
so just
business?
give me a call,
I'll give you a call.
we'll meet out.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you very much for me.
Thank you.
Any new business?
I have none.
No monkey business?
I have none.
Any old business? I call this meeting adjourned. The party is over.